And in one of the major projects that was taken up was the restoration project of Vrindavan. There's a beautiful temple of Vrindavan. I don't know how many of you have been there. It's in Nandagaon. It's the abode of Sri Vrindavan. So he took up the service of restoring that beautiful temple and installed the deity of Srimati Vrindavan. He also has done many other projects like restoring Sanatana Goswami Samadhi and many other projects in Vrindavan. So he knows Vrindavan like nobody knows so much in intricate details of Vrindavan he can speak. So he usually does Vraj Katha all over the world. He preaches, he speaks about the glories of Sri Prabhupada, speaks different pastimes, and everybody loves him and calls him Baba. So let us welcome him by loudly chanting Hari Bol. Hari Bol!
You don't need microphone here? No, I guess not. So anyway, we're very extremely happy and honored to be here in Columbus, Ohio for the first time in our lives. I think maybe sometime we have passed through Ohio, but we never stopped here ever. So yesterday we saw the Cincinnati Temple, and today we saw the Columbus Temple, and we saw the brand new temple coming up. It looks very exciting. So anyway, we're very honored and very, very, very pleased to be here. Especially we see there's our Radha Shyam Sundar is here. We're very happy to be at their lotus feet and to be in the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. Be with all the devotees of Columbus Yatra. So this evening we're going to take you to Vrindavan. Yes. Without ticket, without visa, no security check, no mask. And just to put us in Braj mood, we have very beautiful Braj bhajan. Just like
recording in progress.
Noontime, our dear God sister Kamagiri, she was asking us to sing one Braj song. So I was singing this one, but then I realized that one was more appropriate for nice dancing kirtan for Radha Vrindavan Natavara. And we were so enchanted to see Radha Natavara. So anyway, if you have your devices, first of all, I don't know, down here you get signal or not. The first thing you do is put them on silent, because these little babies have a way of crying in the middle of the lecture. And you can look up Vraja Jana Mana. Vraja Jana Mana. And the most songbooks is spelled with a V as in victory, rather than a V, but check both ways. It's a very beautiful Braj song. So you have Mridangabala? Okay, well, Chota Mridangabala. Your name?
Kari.
Huh?
Kari.
Oh yes, picture. Kind of book for you, huh?
Yes.
And?
Ujjwala Nitai Das.
Ujjwal Nitai.
Ujjwal Nitai. Okay, Ujjwal Nitai. Okay, nice. Okay. Sri Radhe Prajajannam Manasukha Kari Radhe Jana Jana
Sukha
So this little Braj song just takes us straight to Braj. Brajajan. Brajajana mana Sukha Kari. Brajajan means the residents of Braj. Just like some of you here are the Columbus Jan, some are Andhra Pradesh Jan, maybe somebody's UP Jan, maybe somebody's Kerala Jan. We have at least one Bengali Jan, maybe more. No, you're all Vaishnavas, you're Bhakta Jan. So Brajajan means the residents of Braj. Brajajana Man. Man means the heart. Brajajana Man. Sukhakari. Sukhakari means delight. So who delights the hearts of all of the Vishwasis? Radhe Sham, Shama Sham. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuruntam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Vistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Karamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Gaura Bhaktamita Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Panchakalpatrubhyasya kipasya So I was trying to think what pastime of Prabhupada I would tell today. And I was just talking with our Manish Prabhu, and he was telling how he cooks for the Mangalarti sweets a couple of times a week. So I was thinking a nice prasadam pastime of Prabhupada. There's one time, this story was told to me by Jamuna, one of Prabhupada's oldest and very dearmost disciples was Jamuna. Every day we hear her singing the Brahma Samhita at Darshanati. So one time they were in Calcutta with Prabhupada. This is long before there was Mayapur temple, even anything. I don't even think there was a temple in Calcutta at that time. So one day Prabhupada came and he was very excited. And he told Jamuna, today my sister's coming. This is before any of us knew who Pishima was. The Prabhupada said, today, my sister's coming, Pishima. So you have to cook very nicely. And you have to cook this and this and this and this. And you have to do it like that and that and that and that. And Prabhupada went in the kitchen and he cooked this and this and this and that, like that and that and that. And she just helped. Prabhupada cooked the whole feast. He was very excited that Pishima was coming. So finally Pishima came and they sat down together. They had nice silver trays and silver thalis and silver katoris. And Jamuna was put everything on the plates and she was running in every 2 seconds with a nice hot chapati. And they were eating and they were chattering away in Bengali. Because without chattering away, Bengalis can't digest. I know because the Bengali pujaris, when I lived in the Brahmachari ashram in Krishna Balaram Mandir, then the Brahmachari pujaris lived next door, so they would come back almost 10 o'clock at night with all their Mahaprasad, and they would so they were chattering away, and Prabhupada was eating so much. He was eating with great gusto, and every once in a while Jamuna would come in and fill up the katoris. So, sometimes if you eat too much prasadam, you get like a little giddy, not like you're intoxicated. Right? So one time Jamuna came in to fill up the katoris, and Prabhupada had stacked up all the silver katoris in a big column on his plate. And Jamuna said, you know, because this is old days, they didn't call him Prabhupada, they said, Swamiji, Swamiji, you want some more? And Prabhupada said, see, I'm a good boy, I finished everything on his plate. He had one last katori, and he threw it at the bottom of the pile, so they all came crashing down with a big sound. So see, I'm a very good boy, I finished everything on my plate. And Jamuna, oh, Swamiji, and what about your sister, should I give her more? And she doesn't know one single word of English. And Prabhupada looked at Jamuna, she is so fast. If you give her anything more, she will explode. And then he looked at Pishima and he smiled, and Pishima, she smiled back. He doesn't understand one word of English what Prabhupada was saying. If you give her anything more, she's so fat, she will explode. And he said, when I was young, I used to climb on her back and pull on her pigtails. And then he smiled at Pishima, and Pishima smiled at Prabhupada. So this is a very sweet prasad pastime that Jamuna revealed to me one time. So this afternoon we had gone across the river to Bandirvan. On the other side of the river, we told there's 5 forests. One is Badravan, one is Bandirvan, one is Belvan, and one is Lohavan, and Gokul, Mahavan. 5 forests. So one of those forests is Belvan, because there used to be a whole forest of bale trees. Now you won't see many bale trees. There's 2 or 3 there. But the first time I went there was just a tiny little temple to Lakshmiji. Because this forest has 3 names. One is Belvan, the other is Bilvavan, because Sanskrit for Bale is Bilva. And the other is Srivan. Sri means Lakshmiji. So Lakshmiji is staying here in this forest. So this forest has got the name Srivan. And there used to be a tiny little temple there. It used to be just a dirt road. There was a little branch off of the highway, and you're going toward I was talking about the pontoon bridge. When you go to the pontoon bridge, there's a little diversion. You go to the right, and then the buses can't even go there. You have to stop the buses. There's a village there. I can't remember the name of the village. And then you have to walk about 2 kilometers through the fields, and you'll come to Belvan. And it was just a tiny little road. And most after the village, then it was all dirt road. Now they have a very nice road all the way there. Still the buses can't get there, but there's a nice road all the way up. And that temple was very, very small. There was a wall around the temple, small, little wall around the temple, and it was just like there was, like in the old days when you went to Bharat, there was, so many little shops right in a row, like it was just one of those little cubicles that was Lakshmi Devi's mandir. Now the government has fixed that place. They made a big wall, expanded the forest that they're covering with a big wall around it. A beautiful dark, deep red sandstone temple is there, and so many railings are there because there's a big festival not in Karti, but second month after Karti, we call Posh. So every Thursday in Posh there's a big festival there, because Lakshmi is staying there. Because she wanted to join the rasa dance. So if you see, sometimes we give an extra donation to Pujar, you lift up the cloth, and you can see she has 2 hands like this, and she has 2 hands like this. She's sitting there performing penances and austerities to be able to enter into the rasa lila in Vrindavan on the other side of the river. But Vrinda Devi is not allowed her entrance. Because if you want to enter into Vrindavan, then you have to be follower of the cowherd damsels of Vraj. So Gopi, cowherd girl, means they're making cow patties, they're milking cows, they're collecting cow dung on their heads, they have little trays like this called parat, and they're picking up the cow dung and making cow. How Lakshmiji, she's the husband of the goddess, he's the husband of Lord Narayan, how is she going to make cow patties and milk cows, collect cow dung? So she has this abhiman. Therefore, Vrinda Devi doesn't allow her. She's still sitting there. You can go there and see. She's still sitting there meditating, performing penances and austerities. So one time, Krishna went there to give his association to Lakshmiji. And he went there one Thursday in Paushmaya. But nobody knows which Thursday. So all 4 Thursdays, there's a big mela there. You'll be surprised. You go to the place and it's just out in the middle of nowhere. And as soon as Paushmaya comes, then you'll see there'll be little Ferris wheels and so many shops selling jalebis and golgappa and so many things. And where did it all come from? It all just is it just a completely deserted place. So the Brishvasis, they come every Thursday to give Lakshmiji their association. Because Krishna went there one Thursday in Posh, and he came there and he thought, well, Lakshmi, she's big Lakshmi, goddess of fortune. So he came just like a little copper boy. But she was absorbed in meditation. She didn't see him. So like little boy, he began to cry. So her meditation was disturbed. And after all, Lakshmiji, she's a woman, how she can tolerate a child crying. So, but even now when you go, there's just on the way, you'll pass this tiny village, you can imagine 5,000 years ago, this place. So somehow she got a little rice from here, she got some dal from some other Brishvasi, and she made kitri. And she fed Lala some kitri. So every Thursday in Paushmaya, there's a kitri mela. All these big businessmen come, and they bring their cooking crew, and they dig big pits in the ground, and they put bricks all around. They put the big, huge walks like this on top. They have a place like dig a little groove like this, put all the logs inside. And everybody's cooking not only hot, but very, very spicy hot kitchen. There's a whole big kitchen made of it. So the Brishvasis come and give their association to Lakshmiji. And if you ever go there, then you can ask the pujari, they'll give you, if you come there around the noontime, they have from the Bal Bhog, they have the Kitri Prasad. They'll give you some Kitri Mahaprasad. Because we remember one pastime from Chaitanya Charitamrita. We know Mahaprabhu, he was on South Indian Yatra. And actually it was this very day, he reached Sri Rangam. And he went into the temple there in Sri Rangam. You have to go through seven gates. A huge deity there of Sri Ranganath, facing to the south. Because this deity is giving special mercy to Vibhishan. Because Lord Ram made Vibhishan the king of Lanka. So Lord is facing to the south, towards Vibhishan. It took me a long time to get to the south. Krishna never let me go. He never let me get out of the place. And finally I went, I saw one place, Lord is lying at this side, facing to the south. Another side, he's lying on this side, facing to the north. Another place, he's you have to meet him in the office, and you have to take a ticket and take an appointment and meet him in the office. And you just get 2 seconds darshan and they push you away. Because in Vrindavan, you just come and you dance and chant. There's always 24-hour kirtan going on in Krishna Balaram Mandir. So you see all on Facebook and YouTube, everybody dancing and singing in front of the deities. You can come and take all the darshan you want. Go just there, push you after taking 2 seconds darshan. because you never let me get to the south for a long time. So anyway, Mahaprabhu, he came to Sri Rangam and he saw Lord Ranganath. He began to dance in ecstasy. And nobody in South India had ever seen anything like that. He was dancing wildly. Prabhupada says, just like a firebrand. Right? Just like somebody pointed out to me, now they don't do it at the Rath Yatra, but he used to have one guy with, he had a chain in a circle like this, with chains like this in a smaller circle, and there was 3 spots where there was some cloth soaked in coconut oil, and they set that on fire. He'd spin it around like that, throw it up in the air, catch it like that. Huh? So it looks, the fire is only in 3 spots, but it looks like a whole line of fire like that. Now somehow or other, they're ruining the pageantry of the Rath Yatra. They stopped that, and there's other things going on, but they stopped that. As well, there used to be a beautiful elephant with a big pelican on top of his back and a big, long, velvet, gold embroidered velvet cover coming before the king when the king would come to. He doesn't sweep the road in front of the carts. He sweeps the prickama marg around Lord Jagannath on the cart. Because he explained to me, he said that Rath Yatra means rain. If there's no rain, it's very auspicious. So the road is all mud. There's no question of sweeping the road. He sweeps. You can see. You can go now. They just do. Right now, Sonarvesh is just being posted on. Because today is Lord Jagannath said it's Sonarvesh. So, how did we get to the Rath Yatra?
Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dancing before in Sri Rangam.
They took away the elephant. Even in Kumbh Mela, they took away all the elephants. They're afraid it'll come on CNN that the elephant went wild and trampled the crowd, so they with the bad publicity. So they're ruining the pageantry, but it used to be so beautiful. All the sadhus coming on big elephants with silver thrones, and now they come on lorries, sitting on top of the lorries. Really nice. So, Lord Chaitanya, he came to Sri Rangam, and he was dancing in ecstasy before the deities, just like a firebrand. That's how we got up to Rath Yatra. So immediately they went to Venkatabhatta, who was in charge of the temple, because if something far out is going on in your ISKCON Columbus temple, they need you run to Prema Sindhu or somebody. So, Venkatabhatta, he came there, he saw the ecstasy of Mahaprabhu, and he could understand this is a very great sadhu. And he was very clever. He went to Mahaprabhu. I know it's today because this is the day Chaturmasya begins. Some people follow from the Ekadasi, some people follow from the Purnima, but some people follow from the Ekadasi. So he went to Mahaprabhu after he calmed down from chanting and dancing. He said, Prabhu, you please, I'm very fallen householder, you please come in, stay in my house for some time. He said, actually, now Chaturmas has begun. The roads will be all muddy, the bridges will be washed out. So you stay with me for the 4 months of Chaturmas. He was very clever. Because to be temple president, you have to be very clever. So he was in charge of the temple. He was very clever. So he told Mahaprabhu to come. So Mahaprabhu stayed with him. He never stayed anywhere more than 3 days, but he stayed there in Ranganath for the 4 months of the rainy season. And we've been there to that place. There's a little temple. There's the Venkatabhatta's ancestral house is on one side of the road, on the other side there's a special temple they call Jagannath Mat. Because Lord Chaitanya made some special deities of Jagannath and he was worshipping there. Very interesting deities. So you go there, you can see them. And the Pujari there, his name is Murlidhar. And the descendant of Venkatabhatta, his name is Murli Bhatt. Very interesting. And Murli Bhatt invited us, he took us up to his house, and he was very happy. He said, whenever ISKCON people come, I feel like family has come. He said, we're Sri Vaishnavas, but actually we're Gaudiya Sri Vaishnavas. He was very happy to see us. So Mahaprabhu stayed there. At that time, Gopal Bhatta was just a small boy. So he got to hear from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for 4 months. Just imagine, like everybody comes to Vrindavan for VIG, sometimes, Satchidananda Swami is there, sometimes Prahlad Swami is there, somebody's there. Just imagine, on 4 months we have class and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is your teacher. So he got Chaitanya, he had 4 months of VIG. And toward the end of that 4 months, Venkatapata and Mahaprabhu were walking, and Mahaprabhu said, "You're Lakshmiji, she's known as the most chaste lady." He said, "Yes, in fact." He said, "But she was very much attracted to Krishna, to join the rasa dance." And Venkatapata, well, Krishna is just another form of her husband, Krishna. Lord Narayan takes the form of a cover boy. Right? So it's the same person. And Mahaprabhu says, yes, that's all right. I'm not challenging that. But she was not allowed to enter the rasa dance. And then Venkatapata said, he said, "Oh my Lord, only you know your pastime, you please instruct me." And then he explained to him that the highest truth is that Brajanananda and Shamsundar Krishna, he's the source of all the avatars. And that Lord Narayan, he's only, not only, I can't say that, but he's expansion of Krishna. Just like we read in Sri Ravakra, Ete Shamsa Kala Punsa, Krishnastu Bhagavansa. So then Venkatapata, he understood the highest truth is Radha and Krishna. So we remember, whenever we go there, we remember this pastime. And now they have it's become so popular, they have so many railings there for everyone to come and take darshan, and this big Khichdi festival is there. One time, just so happened, there was 5 Thursdays in Poshlana. And somehow the first one, nobody, it was very small. We came there with a whole group of devotees from Chennai. And we have anybody from Tamil Nadu with us tonight? Okay, so come on. So I think there was 50 of us, and we came there. Luckily, there was a big mela, but there was a little mela that was going on for the thing. We took nice darshan. And there's a prikama around the temple. Around back of the temple, down below, there's a Betak of Vallabhacharya, and you'll see there's a kitchen there, but next to his Betak there's a kitchen, but they left a hole in the roof, and there's a tree coming through the hole in that roof, and if you look closely, you can see that it's a bale tree. And if you begin to look closely, because the bale is a little green fruit like this, so you can't tell the difference between the leaves and the fruit for a while. Then suddenly you'll see so many bale fruits are hanging there. And they're very hard. So in this Bailvan, this is where Krishna and Balaram used to play ball with the bale fruits. So, because there was a forest of bale trees there, and Krishna and Balaram used to play ball with the bale fruits. Because they're very, very hard. You have to, it's a great difficulty. You break them open and you scrape out the fruit inside and make a nice juice with it. It's very, very, especially in the summertime. It'll cool down your whole stomach. So we were in the old days. Now we're so acclimatized to Vrindavan. It doesn't happen. In the old days, we used to get so sick in the summer. We'd only live by bale juice. We'd keep our stomachs nice and cool, and we wouldn't end up doing bathroom prikama. So you can see there's one bale tree there, and then you look in the forest, there's another bale tree, and this little small bale tree coming up, and this beautiful, one corner of the beautiful banyan tree, with so many roots hanging down, you can't tell which was the original root. Actually, when Krishna saw a bale tree for the first time, he said, "Maya, Are Maya, what type of tree is this what's got a beard? What type of tree is this what's got a beard? Ye kahan ki peड़ जिसके दाढ़ी है Maya? Ye kahan ki peड़ जिसके दाढ़ी है Maya?" And Nadi Sor looks, "Oh Lala, this is banyan tree." and so many roots hanging down, just like deer. Huh? So in one corner of the courtyard, there's this beautiful banyan tree there with so many roots you can't tell which was original. Huh? Anyway, it is a very, very sweet place. And many times, because once you get there, then you have to walk back 2 kilometers to the buses. So what I would do is we would hire boats in Vrindavan and tell them to meet us at Belvan. And the boats would, come upstream and park there and wait for us. After we take darshan and hear all the pastimes, and sometimes we would take breakfast prasadam there. And then we go down to the bank of the Jamuna, and the boats would be waiting for us. And then floating down the Jamuna, we would do kirtan in the boats, just floating down the Jamuna, very sweetly. One time we had Vyasakya with us, so we were going down the Jamuna, and it's so quiet. Once you get out of the city, it's so quiet. It's deafening. It's like thunder is going off in your ears. It's so quiet. Only you hear the Jamuna lapping against the boat, and the boatman, his oars going in the Jamuna. That's the only thing you hear. So every once in a while there's somebody's pumping water in the field. It's so peaceful. I always stop all the kirtans for 1 minute and just be listening to the beautiful sounds. No sounds. We realize for the first time in our life we're never in a place where there's no sound. There's always some kind of sound going on. Right? So beautiful. You just float down the river to just a little ways before you get to Madan Mohan. There's a special ghat there. We all get off and then catch rickshaws back to Vrindavan. Instead of sitting in a hot bus and walking 2.5 kilometers to get to the bus, we just go back down by bus. So this is Belvan, very beautiful forest. The government now is fixing a very nice and beautiful temple there. And you see Lakshmi Ji sitting there performing penances Nastyargi, and you see little Krishna there, and he's going like this. He's got his hand like this big Lakshmi. And still today you can get some of that Kitri Prasad. You give nice donations to people. They give some of that Kitri Prasad. So nearby, not far from when we're on Brajmandal Prikrama with Radharaman Swami and his crew, then next place is a very wonderful place called Man Sarovar. And it used to be very difficult to get there, but now they made a bridge across the Jamuna. When the people were there, it was easy, but when now they have this, but not so easy because you had to get to it. But now they have this bridge across the Jamuna, and you go along that road to the Belvan road, and all of this there's a turn off, and you go down to Man Sarovar. And what happened? Well, we have to go all the way back, many, many thousands of years. There was one yogi named Asuri Rishi. And actually he was on that particular dweep, I can't remember the name, but it's surrounded by the Yoga Ocean. And he was a Vaishnava yogi, so he was meditating on the form of the Lord within his heart. And meditation was going on very nicely. Then all of a sudden, one day, the Lord disappeared from his heart. And he was very disappointed. And he tried again to see the Lord within his heart. He couldn't see the Lord in his heart. He became very upset. So he went over to the milk ocean, the Sweta Dweep. And there in Svetadweep, Lord Vishnu, Sri Lakshmi Vishnu was not there. He said, he asked everybody in Svetadweep, where's the Lord? He said, we don't know, he's here a minute ago. We don't know, he was just here. So then he went to Badrinath. And he saw all the pujaris running around doing their sevas very happily. But Lord Badrinath was there. And he asked everybody in the Badrinath, where's the Lord? So you don't, it's not, no, we don't know, he's not here. What can we try to get? Where did he go? We don't know. So he was very, very powerful yogi. So he went to Kailash to see Lord Shiva. Well, actually, he went to Vaikuntha. He was very powerful. He went to Vaikuntha. And there he saw so many people with 4 arms, just like Lord Vishnu, beautiful Pitambar dhotis. But he couldn't see anybody who had that beautiful golden streak of Srivatsa on his chest, or with a Kaustubha mani. And he asked everybody in Vaikuntha, so where's the Lord? He said, you don't know? No, I don't know. You don't know? No, I don't know. You don't know? No, I don't know. Now he's taken his incarnation as a cowboy in Vrindavan. Of course, the residents of Vaikuntha, they think like that, so anyway, we won't bother them. So he came down and he went to Vrindavan. When he got to Vrindavan, it was evening time, and he saw the gopis were running here and there, and they were all crying, where's Krishna, where's Krishna, oh Sham Sundar, where have you gone? Oh Prananath, everybody, all the gopis were running around. Some was imitating Putana pastime, some was imitating Giriraj pastime. They were so mad, they were imitating all of Krishna's pastimes and remembrance of it. Looking. They told him that he's in Vrindavan, but he got there to Vrindavan, everybody in Vrindavan is looking for Krishna. So he went up to Kailash. And he came to Kailash. And he was very sad looking. So Lord Shiva said, what's the matter? So he explained everything to him. And Lord Shiva began to laugh. Isn't that funny? He said, no. You went to the right place. Lord is there in Vrindavan. But you just went at the time that Krishna has disappeared from the Rasa Lila. You know what this means? This means that now Mahavrasa is going to take place. Come, let's go. So he grabbed a Sri Rishi and they went down to the earth to Vrindavan. And when they got to the gate of Vrindavan, the gate of the Rasa Arena, Vrindadevi wouldn't let them come. Because you may or may not know that no male person is allowed in the Rasa Arena. So Lord Shiva and Asura, they're very upset, and Vrinda said, no problem. You go across the Jamuna, there's a beautiful place called Mansarovar, and you take your bath in that lake. Because what happened, that's a very special lake. What happened there, she began to explain to Lord Shiva and Asura that one day Krishna came late for the Rasa Lila. Because legend has it that the ladies are always late. I'm not saying this, so don't report me to the women's ministry. I'm just saying legend has it. Anyway, she was late. She was doing her makeup. So Krishna was there with all the gopis. So Radharani was late, so he began to dance with all the gopis on the bank of the Jamuna. And then Radharani appeared after some time. And from a distance, she saw Krishna enjoying with so many gopis on the bank of the Jamuna. And she said, I've given up everything for this fellow. I've given up my name, I've given up my position in society, I've given up everything for me, and he's taken my everything and just trampling it under my feet. And she began to cry, and she crossed over the Jamuna, and she went into a special kunj. And she began to weep. And she was weeping and weeping. And a little stream formed, and flowed down into a lake, and it formed a whole lake of Radharani's tears of man. Man means you take a little anger, and you take some crocodile tears, and some pride, and some coquettishness, and you mix it all together like an artist, that is man. Mm. When Radharani is obsessed with Krishna, she knows man began. Mm. So these are the tears, this lake is the tears of Srimati Radharani's, of man. Mm. So after a while, we read in Chaitanya Charitamrita that even if there's millions of gopis, Krishna can't be satisfied without Srimati Radharani. So suddenly he noticed that Radharani wasn't there, his ecstasy wasn't the same. And he asked Lalita Pisaka, where's Radharani? You have to find her quick, because I can't eat, I can't sleep, I can't drink, I can't do anything. I'm going to give up my life unless Radharani comes. So Lalita Pisaka, they went looking for Radharani. They went all along the bank of the Jamuna. And a little chutki bird pointed his tail across the Jamuna. So they crossed over the Jamuna, and they were walking, and suddenly they saw a lake where no lake had ever been before. And just by seeing that lake, their hair was standing on end, their bodies were trembling. Oh, this is not an ordinary lake. And they saw there was a little stream coming into that lake. And they followed that stream back, and they found Radharani sitting there, crying tears of unhappiness. And they went there and they told, oh Radharani, you have to come. Krishna, he can't eat, he can't sleep, he can't drink, he can't do anything. He's going to give up his life without you. And Radharani said, this fellow, he's not only black on the outside, he's black on the inside, he's black through and through. He has cheated me so many times, I'm not going to have anything to do with this black fellow. So they went back to Krishna and they told him this is the situation. So Krishna came there. And he saw Radharani sitting at her man. And he began, it's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who's all sages and demigods, all demigods first of all, worshipping on his Lord, Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Lord Indra, everyone worshipping on his lotus feet. All sages, Sita, Devala, Vyasa, Narada, they're all worshipping, all the demigods worshipping on his feet. He began to massage the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. And if you go there to Mansarovar, you'll see there's a beautiful temple where they have, it's the only place I've ever seen, they have a Radharani Shila. Very beautiful temple there. And many years ago, they put it, there wasn't any dome there, and now somebody put a big white marble dome. From the road, you can see it from long way distance away, you can see this big white dome across the fields. So, and there's another little temple behind. In that temple, you see there's a picture. Krishna is massaging the lotus feet of Radharani. Radharani is keeping her hands like this, but from the corner of 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 her eye, she's seeing Krishna. And Radharani's going, get away! Don't touch me! Get away! I don't want to see you! You're a rascal! You have cheated me so many times. Forget it! Our relationship is finished, forget it. And one little tear came rolling down Krishna's cheek and dropped from his cheek onto Radharani's foot. Now tears of joy are very cold, but tears of sadness are very warm. So that warm drop landed on Radharani's foot, and Radharani felt that warm drop on the foot. So immediately, then she could no longer maintain her mind. And Krishna was able to break her mind. So Nandra told them, if you go to that lake, and you bathe in that lake, not only will you get the form of a gopi, you will get gopi bhav. Because it's not a question of changing body. Because Lord Shiva, he's the master of all mystic. He could have changed himself into a gopi body very easily. But it's a question of changing our consciousness. Sometimes I think, oh, then when I die, somehow I'll become Krishna. No, you either become Krishna conscious now, You're not going to be Krishna conscious at death. You're going to be, are you Krishna conscious now? Bhakti Vinod Trays. Huh? Forget the past that sleeps and ne'er the future dream at all, but act in times that are with thee, and progress you shall call. Am I thinking of Krishna now? Don't worry. Don't forget about the past. I wasted my life so much sense gratification. Forget about it. It's over. And near the future, oh, how will I ever become Krishna? Forget about the future. But act in times that are with thee. Am I Krishna conscious now? Don't worry about the past. Don't worry about the future. Try to be Krishna conscious now. So, Asuri Rishi and Lord Shiva, they went there to that lake, they took bath, and they got forms of gopis, and they got gopi bhavs. And then they came back, and Vrinda Devi posted him on one corner of the rasa dance. If you go to a very beautiful place called Bamsivat, where Krishna played his flute and called all the gopis, you can see in one corner, there's a very beautiful gopi with snake around her neck. This is Gopishwar Mahadev. So, Rishi and Lord Shiva, they went there, and Vrinda Devi posted them on one corner of the rasa dance to guard the rasa dance, and Lord Shiva was taking darshan. And then Krishna, he immediately saw that his great devotee, we know Vaishnavanam Yata Shambhu, Lord Shiva is the best of the Vaishnava, that his great devotee is coming to gopi form. So he went there to that corner, and he said, "Hail Gopishwari." And Radharani, she heard that. If anybody's Gopishwari, it's her. Who's he calling Gopishwari? So she made angry mudra. You know angry mudra? Hands are on the hips and toe is tapping. And Krishna, he saw this angry mudra of Radharani. So he went there and he said, "Hey Radha, you don't see? Our great devotee, Lord Shiva, has come here to watch in the form of a gopi." And then Radharani looked and she saw this gopi has a big snake around his neck and the moon on his jata. And then she could no longer maintain her mind. So this is the story of Mansura, a very beautiful, peaceful place. A beautiful grove is there. And we used to be able to, from the temple, we could go inside that grove, but now they've made, you have to go outside and there's a gate. Sometimes it's locked, sometimes it's not locked. So you go inside. There's a big, huge kunj. All types of pilu trees are growing. The pilu is a special fruit that very favorite of Krishna Balaram and the Katha woods. And just now, this is a spring, well, I guess it's all finished now. In the springtime, around March and April, the little flowers come and the little tiny burgundy colored fruits, sometimes pearl colored fruits come. And this is a favorite of Krishna Balaram and the Katha woods. And you have to be very careful, because you just have to break them with your tongue against the roof of your mouth. Because if you bite them, then the seed will crack open and you'll burn your mouth like chili. Just like one time, Lord Chaitanya, it was Jagadananda, he brought sand from the Raslila place and Gunjamala and Govardhan Shila and dried pilu fruits to Mahaprabhu in Puri. He went to take darshan of Vrindavan and he came back and he gave these things to him. Mahaprabhu kept the Govardhan Shila and the Gunjamala and the sand from the Raslila, and he distributed the dry pilu fruits to the Bengali devotees. Now, Vrindavan, just like here, we're going through all these beautiful green forests. But Vrindavan is right on the edge of the Rajasthan desert. So it's not the same forest like we see here, but a little bit dry. And pilu only grows in this dry environment. It doesn't grow in Bengal. You know, in Bengal, everything is green, just like here, So pilu, they don't know the pilu fruits. And so Mahaprabhu distributed all the dry pilu fruits to the Bengali devotees. And instead of just sucking on them, they began to chew them. And they were all burning their mouths, and Mahaprabhu was laughing to see the fun. So the big pilu kunj is there. We can fit the whole, all of us could fit inside this one big kunj. And in fact, somebody made some beautiful lotus feet of Srimati Radharani there. Very, very beautiful place. And they put nice, now they fixed up the ghat. Ghat used to be just a broken down ghat. Now they fixed up the ghat and put a nice wall all around the Sarovar there. When the Kund becomes too big, we call it Sarovar, lake. So there's a wall all around with nice carved sandstone railing, intricately started railing all around. And very, very beautiful place. A nice ghat is there. We can go down and take some of the tears of Radharani's anger on our heads in this place. And we have this beautiful temple. I saw one time, they told me, when the Jamuna flooded one time, the water came all the way up, because there's steps. You go up to the steps and a big platform, brown platform is there in front of the deities. And there's an altar there. Right up to the edge of the altar, the water came. There was so much rain that year. Right up to the edge, just right around his here, and just 2 inches down, Jamuna was flowing just past the altar, just to the edge of the altar. And they don't allow pictures, but every once in a while, over the years, we stuck pictures. I think on our Facebook page, if you go way back, you can see some pictures of very interesting Sheila of Radharani. And there's that temple behind that beautiful picture is there. Used to go upstairs and take darshan from inside, but now they've become too popular. Now since they made that road, everybody comes there, so now you have to take darshan from downstairs. You can see Radharani trying not to see Krishna, but from the corner of her eye, she's seeing Krishna. Very sweet place. Shriman Sarovar ki.
Jai.
So what time is it?
7:30.
7:30. So what time do we go to? Maybe we should ask for some questions. If anybody has any questions, we'll put our voice to rest here and ask for questions. No questions? Everyone fell asleep?
So I was just thinking that if you deep in Mansarovar, then you get Gopi Bhav.
Yes.
Why did Lakshmi was not advised to go into Mansarovar and pushing into the Bhakti power?
I don't know. So we're very fortunate, because unless one follows the residents of Vraja, it's very difficult to enter into Vraja Prem. But we're very fortunate because we have the most dear Vrishvasi, Srila Prabhupada, to follow. Because Krishna says in Gita that that person who distributes this knowledge to the devotees, he's most dear to me, and no one will be more dear to me. So Prabhupada has spread the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita all over the whole world. So no one more dear to Krishna. So by following the path laid out by Sri, even I was saying the other day that the road into Vrindavan, that is called Bhaktivedanta Swami Marg, to show us that this is a way to get to Vrindavan, by following the program. And you're all thinking, oh, we're not so fortunate. We didn't get association with Prabhupada like you. But don't think like that. There's one disciple of one of my godbrothers named Kartikeya, who's no longer in this world. But he was one of the very, very early devotees of Prabhupada. And he personally told me this story. You won't find it in any memory tape or anything. Only at the very end of his life, he returned to Krishna consciousness and left his body. But he told me personally this story, that one time he went with Govindadasi and Gorsundar, Govindadasi's husband, and they went to Hawaii. And this is a long, long time ago, when they still called him Swamiji. And one day, Govindadasi came back from the market with wheat germ. Now in Bharat, I never met anybody who knew what wheat germ is. Maybe you've seen it here in the stores, right? You know, inside the kernel of the wheat, there's those two little, there's like, look like leaves that's going to germinate, so it's called wheat germ. Anyway, it's very, very healthy. Mm-hmm. And so that's called wheat germ. Anyway, the point is it's not suji. So one day it rained, so Prabhupada asked for the Kartikeya was cooking for Prabhupada. So he said, you make some halava. Because halava is filled with ghee and of course the Kari 60-day grains. Keeps it nice and warm, you know. So he thought, Swamiji wants halava, I'm going to make it with the wheat germ instead of with the cream of wheat, instead of with the suji. And Swamiji will be so pleased, he's really going to like it. He was cooking with this bhava, Swamiji will be so pleased, he's really going to like this. He made it, he offered to the deities, he put it into the plate, he brought it to Prabhupada, Prabhupada took one look, he said, what is this? Halava means suji, cream of wheat. Halava means suji. With the left hand, Prabhupada said, take it out. So Kartikeya, he was a very, very sensitive devotee, very emotional devotee. So he was destroyed because his whole bhava was Swamiji is going to like it so much. He didn't know what to do, so he went in the temple room, he sat in front of the picture of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and he began to pray. He said, I was just trying to please your spiritual son, Swamiji, but he's so upset with me, I don't know what to do. He began to cry. He was very sensitive to this. He was crying. Suddenly he heard Prabhupada's voice. Kartikeya? Kartikeya? He ran to Prabhupada's room. Prabhupada said, bring that halava. So he brought a bowl of halava to Prabhupada. With great gusto, Prabhupada finished up, bring more. In this way, Prabhupada finished up the whole pot of halava. He said, from this I learned two things. One is that Prabhupada is not alone. Behind Prabhupada, there's a whole chain of spiritual masters up to the lotus feet of Krishna. Because he was praying to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, right? So behind Prabhupada, this whole line, they're handing us a rope to get us out of this ocean of Kali Yuga. And they just grab onto the rope and they'll pull us out. And second thing was, that Prabhupada always told us that the grandfather, he's more merciful than the father. My grandfather didn't live very far from here. He was in a village called Moore, West Virginia. So grandfather, he's more merciful than the father. So you are more fortunate than us. Don't think you're unfortunate. You have Prabhupada as your grandfather's spiritual master. He'll be more merciful to you than to us. And we're seeing second generation doing so many wonderful things. So don't feel yourself unfortunate. You're more fortunate. Prabhupada will give more mercy to you. Because he's your grandfather's spiritual master. Srila Prabhupada ki. Any other questions? Book? Yes?
So you are working in Vrindavan since the 80s, I guess? Like
84.
84.
41 years.
Maybe I'd be interested to know what it was like maybe to adjust living in Vrindavan, or whether it took a while to like be comfortable, or you know, those kinds of things.
There was no question of feeling comfortable. Somehow, I don't know, when first time I went to Vrindavan was 1974. Mayapur Vrindavan Festival was it. We spent 2 weeks in Mayapur, 2 weeks in Vrindavan. And those days they were cooking with buffalo ghee, and our Western bodies weren't ready for that. We were so sick. But somehow, even though we were so sick, we got to Vrindavan, Jamuna and Guru Das, they cooked very sweet prasadam for us. They heard all the stories from Mayapur. So they cooked they were like our mother and father. I always remember, they're so sweet, they took nice care of us. But somehow in my heart, I just felt this is my home. And no question of feeling comfortable. I remember Kadamba Kanan, who's now left this world, he had a cooler in his office, air cooler, you know. It's a big metal thing like this, and it has, you know, some type of grass inside, and it's filled with.
Feel the water.
They have a little pump that pumps water all over the grass, and the big fan, you know, blows it, and you get, you know, because the water is evaporating, so evaporation causes cooling. because there's no question of air conditioner. I think if you installed an air conditioner in Vrindavan in those days, you'd short out the whole city. So that, and like I said, without bail juice, we couldn't manage through the summer. But somehow it's just, Vrindavan is such a special place. I just felt perfectly at home, even though most of the time, a lot of time I was very sick in the beginning, but then somehow you adjust. There's so many nice devotees there. Just like they were telling all the stories we have to deal with, especially the heat, but in New Vrindavan they had to deal with the cold. And we just inaugurated they remodeled that first New Vrindavan house where Prabhupada stayed in 1968. They just remodeled it, just by Krishna's arrangement. We didn't plan it that way, but we were there for the reopening of the remodeled thing, and everybody started telling all the stories, trudging through the snow to the creek and taking bath and But they said just somehow the association with the Vaishnavas. They said they have such nice association with Vaishnavas that just kept them going somehow or another. And somehow it was just by Prabhupada's mercy and the mercy of the Vaishnavas. Now we have different problems to deal with, and now it's just filled with traffic and so many big buildings have come and everything. But still, Vrindavan is still Vrindavan. Even those days, you can read Haigriva's book. He said, but Prabhupada, there's pigs everywhere, it's so dirty, there's open drains, and everything. So deteriorating. And Prabhupada said, every step you take, thousands of births or sins are destroyed. So where's the deterioration? So now we don't see the pigs and all that, but now we see the crowds. But anyway, that's also Prabhupada's mercy. Vrindavan was lost practically. When we got there, nobody even knew what was Vrindavan. So you mean Vrindavan Gardens in Mysore? I said, no. Near Mathura. Oh, Madurai. No, not Madurai. And now Prabhupada put Vrindavan on the map. So sometimes you feel uncomfortable. So when even in Mangalarti, you can't find a place to stand. 4:30 in the morning. It's not our devotees. It's become the fashion now in Vrindavan that if you're in Vrindavan overnight, then 4:30 you have to go see the Mangalarti in ISKCON. Luckily for us oldsters, they put a rope on the front so we can go for back and forth between all the three altars. But I just see Prabhupada up there. They told when 50 years ago, we just had the 50th anniversary, 50 years ago when Prabhupada inaugurated the temple, the Brijvasis said, why did you build your temple out there? Who's going to go there? And now you can't even get in. But I just see Prabhupada up there in Golok laughing. He got the last laugh. Somehow all the devotees helping each other, we just association with the Vaishnavas and Prabhupada's mercy. Yes?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I have not to say many people learning as well, but whenever I recollect, I'll just say, it's nice to be with you. And here online as well, when you give class in Jew temples in Hindi, even if it's in Hindi, it's very fascinating. It draws you and puts you inside the story itself. So I can just see my grandfather who is speaking, telling stories to a small kid. It's like that to me when I hear you. Recently, I had one of the class from Patri Prabhu, and he was narrating a very nice experience, and in which you were involved too. And he said you went by Dean of that days, those days, when you were in art school or something, I believe. You were in art school? No?
Me never.
Okay, not sure. He mentioned, when he moved to New York and.
Well, our temple president still calls me Dino, so.
But yeah, not sure if it might be someone else or you, but I thought it was you. That when he was asked to create a poster for.
No, it wasn't me.
Okay, there's someone else. But it's very nice to hear when devotees probably share their stories from long back, how the interaction was, how they met. So anything you'd like to share, you know, from when you were introduced this to like Los Angeles, right? California?
No, I joined in Boulder, Colorado.
Oh, Boulder, Colorado.
They
Okay.
didn't even have a temple.
Okay.
They were looking for a temple, and they were staying with some hippies 15 miles outside of Boulder City in a log cabin. And I was, that 1969, everybody went to either Woodstock or Haight-Ashbury or Boulder, Colorado. Even today, Boulder, Colorado, Prabhupada said it's a special place. Because if you go there, you see every yoga institution, every spiritual institution has got their branch there in Boulder. It's a special place. And there's some special energy there. So anyway, we went to Boulder that year, and although I was living way up in the mountains, there's a place called Netherlands. Beyond Netherlands, there was a public campground that all the young people had taken over. We had one was main camp where I was staying, and then there was Buccaneer Camp where some people from New York were staying. So, and I decided that what the Christians call heaven, what the Hindus call Swarg, what the Buddhists call Nirvana, this is the place here in the Rocky Mountains. It's so beautiful and so peaceful. But my Swarga had a problem. At the end of the summer, it got very cold. So I had to come down, and I walked into the park where all the young people used to hang out, and some boy walked up to me and said, "You know, the Hare Krishnas are here." I said, "Oh my God, I'll tell you they're here too." He said, "Yeah, they want to start a temple. They're looking for a place to start a temple, but they're staying with us. And they're going to have a special feast tomorrow. It's Krishna's birthday." I said, "Krishna's birthday?" Because I knew the chanting, all the young people, we knew the chanting of Hare Krishna. There was one drama called Hair, that they chanted Hare Krishna. We all knew chanting, but I didn't know what it was. I didn't even know it wasn't a what, it was a who, and he has a birthday. He said, "Yeah, they're gonna fast till midnight. At midnight they're gonna have 25-course vegetarian feast, all Indian recipes." So I was a cook. So that was fascinating to me. 25 years. The fast, I could use a fast, because I was more or less vegetarian, but my friend Sunshine, who later became Srivas, he fed us some things we won't mention that morning. I said, we can use a fast after that. And 25-course vegetarian Indian recipes? Wow, sounds amazing. He says, "Yeah, we got room if you want to come and stay." So we went out there and we stayed overnight. Next morning, they gave me a copy of Bhagavad Gita, that little blue one from Macmillan, with about, 800 pages edited out of it. Still we became devotees, but anyway. So, Prabhupada gave a example there. Just the introduction, Prabhupada's introduction convinced me. Because Prabhupada, he gave example that just like you have a bird in a bird cage, now you can make the bird cage out of silver, you can make it out of gold, you can put a nice TV set there, you can do anything, put air conditioning, but unless you give some nourishment to the bird, he's not going to be happy. So same way, this body is like a cage, and this Atmarupi Pakshi, this little bird is sitting there. You can do everything with this body, because we were born in an affluent family, we had everything. But I wasn't happy. So you can do everything for this body, unless you give some nourishment to the soul, you'll never be happy. And I realized this was the knowledge I wasn't, because I was on summer vacation from University of Notre Dame in South Bend, Indiana. And I said, this is the knowledge I wasn't getting in university, this is the knowledge I was looking for. So I never went back to the university. I became a student of Bhagavad Gita and Psychology. And anyway, those days there weren't so many rules, so I got to help in the kitchen. I was cooking, but I was helping it. Because in those days, and that was 1969, it wasn't that you went to the Indian store on the corner and you bought some basin flour. You had to take the chickpeas, and we had a cast iron grinder, and and you put it loose, and it would come out like gravel, and you put it loose, it became less thick gravel, then it came like coarse sand, then it came out like sand, and you take it up really hard. And Bhavananda was preaching, you have to give your energy to Krishna, He said, wow, Krishna's gonna like this, I'm really putting my energy into this. And then they had something called ghee. I never heard of ghee. It was pure gold and liquid. And they heated it up and they rolled up in these pieces of dough, flat as a piece of paper. And they dropped it in the ghee and it blew up like a balloon. I said, wow, this is magical. So we fasted till midnight, and then those days we didn't know you're supposed to take a Kadasi breakfast. So we had a full-on grain feast. Puri, paneer, sabji, halwa, sweet rice, everything right at midnight. You know? And Bhavananda picked up a gulab jamun, because Bhavananda was the first devotee I met. And he said, you know how to eat this? I said, no. And he took his gulab jamun and he threw it in his mouth. Whole thing. I said, well, if you can do it, I can do it. So I took my gulab jamun that was on my plate and I thought, because Bhavananda was preaching me, in the material world everything gets dull. And I saw that. I had all my friends were, you know, whatever they did, I'm tired of that, you know. But he said in the spiritual world, everything gets better. And this gulab jamun just went, I said, well, I made it out of Krishna logo. That's why Prabhupada used to call it Iskan Goli, huh? Iskan Goli. We made a lot of devotees with us. Yes?
Is it true that, or is it mentioned in scripture that whoever dies in the line of Vrindavan goes back home back to God? So what if they are...
Anyone, even the birds, bees, animals, ants, everyone. This is the last birth in this material world.
So what if they're not practicing devotional service?
It's Krishna's special mercy.
So how does one get to have that birth in Vrindavan and maybe not a devotee?
Well, only by great fortune. That's why Mahaprabhu, when he sent Jagadananda, he said, you go to Vrindavan, because he's always trying to get permission. And finally Mahaprabhu, yes, you go, you stay with Sanatana Goswami, you won't understand the Brishvasis, because Krishna is their guru. You won't understand what they're up to. Don't offend them. Don't associate intimately with them. Don't offend them, don't associate intimately. And you see all the places with Sanatana Goswami, and you come back to Puri. So, don't offend the Brishvasis, don't mix intimately either. You stay in the temple and go with our tours that we get and see the places with the devotee and like that.
And they say that if you can't go to Vrindavan, you can be
And if you commit offenses in Vrindavan, then you'll take birth as a hog or a dog or a monkey. And then you'll eat the remnants of the Vaishnavas for one lifetime and then go back. It's not an ordinary place. Even, because now in Gokul there's a place called the Samadhi of Raskhan. He was a Muslim who became a Vaishnava. And government has fixed it up so nice, beautiful landscape gardens, beautiful stone paths everywhere, carved railings everywhere. You just feel like you went through a portal and you ended up in Europe somewhere. You know, beautiful landscape gardens and everything, very beautiful. And they made a little stone amphitheater there so we could sit and hear the Katha. Just an amazing place. And Raskhan, he was a Muslim. And he was a courier between Agra and Delhi, the two capitals of the Muslim kingdom empire at that time. And every time he'd have to go through Vraja on his way to Delhi. Every time he came, wow, something special here. And coming back, something special here. And one day he just couldn't leave. But everyone saw, you know, he had a beard and other things. So they would, throw rocks at little kids would throw rocks at him and spit on him and so on. He refused to leave. He said, this place is, he just couldn't leave. And then it was, well, they claimed that it was Vittalnas, who was Balacharya's son, who saw him. What is this guy up to? You know, and then he talked to him and realized this guy's naturally Krishna conscious. And he preached to him and made him a Vaishnava. And he wrote so many beautiful poems about Vrindavan. Manusha ho tawai Raskhan baso braj gokul gaon ki gwar. Pasu ho to way basero mero charu nitya nanda ki dhenu majara. Pan ho to way giri ho ki dari kar chatra purandara karan jokaga ho basero mero midi kalindi ku kedamrita dari. If I have to take another birth, this is written by a Muslim, if I have to take another birth, let it be in the Braj Gokul Gaon Ke Gwaran. Let it be as a cover boy in the Braj village of Gokul. We say Gwal, but in Braj they mix R's and L's, so Gwar. Krishna's a little Gwaria. So Braj Gokul Gaon Ke Gwaran. I just want to be a cover boy in the Braj village of Gokul. Pashu, we know Pashu means animal. If I have to become an animal, let me be a cow in the Goshala of Nanda Maharaj. Pahan means stone. If I have to become a stone, then let me rest on that hill that he lifted like an umbrella against the anger of Purandar, Lord Indra. Or if I have to become a bird, Kaga means bird, just like Garuda's another name is Kagaraj, you know. Jokaga ho vesero miro milikali likul kadamba kadara. Then let me be a bird resting on the branch of a kadamba overlooking Kalindi. Even the Prabhupada says in Krishna book, he says, even if an ordinary person goes to Vrindavan, you'll feel the atmosphere is different there.
You also say Mayapur is not the
Yes. Vrindavan is Madhurya Dham and Mayapur is Audurya Dham. More merciful than Vrindavan. Wonderful but more merciful. You see, the Jagamai, they were so degraded. But now if you go on Navadip Mandal Prikrama, of course now Ganga's moved away from there, but you can see the Jagai Madai Ghat, they became such great Vaishnavas that there's one ghat named after them, Jagai Madai Ghat. So it's Odarya Dham, even the most fallen are saved. Yes?
So this one Lila when Krishna was basically chased away by Lalita and Visakha, and he's on the Yamuna, and he meets Brenda Devi, and she tells him to get rid of the flute and the peacock feather. Is that, do you want me to share a little bit about that last night?
I can't remember that one so well. There's so many things that even I don't know. I haven't heard this one enough to be able to describe it.
There is one pastime where Yashoda scares Krishna ghost.
How beloved. There's in Nandagram, there's a place on the eastern side of Nandagram called Yashoda. And by there's a place called How Beloved. So Nandi Yashoda was sitting there, and Krishna was playing nearby. She was doing her puja and everything. And he started going far in the forest with his friends. He said, Dur Kelan Majal, Lalvan Hawa, don't go far in the forest, otherwise this house is going to get you. He said, what is this house? I never seen anything how. But he says, big and black and furry. He has a big black nose and sharp pointy ears and a big mouth with sharp teeth and curved claws to catch you with, and he'll catch you with, he'll eat you up. So Krishna, he played close by. But since little boys have so long memories, again went far in the forest. Somebody said, you were carrying the child, Lalvan, how I don't go far in the forest. His house village. What is this? I never seen anything. And Mother Yasoda said, he's big and black and furry, bigger than you. And he has a long black nose to smell you with, and little pointy ears to hear you with, and great big beady yellow eyes to see you with, and sharp curved claws to catch you with, and his mouth is so big he'll eat you in one bite. Jamuna tatte Denu Chai, Tene Deko. I went all over the Jamuna, Denumi's cow, herding my cow. Jamuna tatte Denu Chai. I was herding the cows all over the bank of Jamuna. Tene Deko, I didn't see any cow. Bain Patal, Kaliyadame, Mahavi, Nani. I jumped in that Kaliya lake. I went all the way to Patala Loka. I didn't see any cow there. You're just telling stories to make me frightened. You're just telling stories, man. And Mother Yasoda's eyes got very big, and she said, well, don't look now, but here comes one, and she began to run, and Krishna began to run, and Baldao began to run, and Raktak began to run, and Sridhama began to run, and Sudama began to run, and all the cowboys, they ran behind Mother Yasoda back to Nandagam. And it just happened to be noontime, time for lunch. Mother Yasoda's very clever, right? And they sat with Nanda Baba, Baldao on one side, Kanaya on the other side, and Krishna and Nanda Baba was feeding them. They told Baba, just between bites and between breaths, Baba, we just missed by this much getting eaten by a how. Anyway, we should put our voice to rest. We have our latest book, Vraj Leela Part 3, Giriraj the King of Mountains, and Vraj Leela 1 and 2 are on Amazon because they're out of stock print right now. And the other books have maybe 12 pictures in them, but everyone loves Arjun Bhattacharya's wonderful pictures. So we have 284 colors pictures inside, and 32 wonderful paintings. We had to get permission from BBC. And you won't believe how many places everybody does the Olympics, you run around the hill. There's Kusum Trove at night, the governors put nice lights there. And so many places in there, and so many wonderful pastimes in there. So we found every place. But some of the places we couldn't find. Some of the Goswami literature mentions places that nobody knows where they are. But at least whatever's new, you have a visual record of those places. Every place in Govardhan you could imagine. We spent many years researching it. It's 530 pages of nectar, and we're only asking small donation of $25, and we can. You don't have to have cash. We can accept credit cards. We can accept Venmo and something called Venmo. I don't know about it. PayPal or whatever. QR code or whatever. Any way you want to. You don't have to have cash for you. We can accept your donations anyway. Only $25 we're asking. So if anybody wants a copy, then you can see my friend here and bring your book, and I'll sign it. Because I'm here to sign it tonight if you want a copy. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Jai.
Can we do nursing breaks? Nursing breaks?
All right. Why are we talking about it?